G'day guys, my name's Josh. You can call me JaWoodle, and welcome back to 7 Days to Die in the brand new Alpha 17.3 B18 build. The brand new update that only just came out this morning, which is very, very exciting because the new update brought with it a big long list of patch notes of things they have fixed and changed and made better. A lot of things are things that I've complained about previously. So I was looking through the patch notes and I was like, well, seeing as I've complained about it recently and seeing as with every other update, I've kind of gone into JaWoodle Park and talked about the new update and shown off some of the new changes, I thought I should probably do that again with this one. Now, as you can tell, JaWoodle Park has not done the best with each of the changes. Every time it gets kind of like carried over to the next update, something kind of goes wrong. So my main base here, the firing range, the garage out the back, doesn't exist anymore. Sure, whatever, chunk errors. That's actually something that they fixed in the new B18 build. So things like this shouldn't, I say shouldn't because like that's the idea, there's always going to be problems here and there, shouldn't happen anymore. These, like, you know, the parts of bases, so like when I did the POI challenge with subscribers, the challenges I had there, things like this, that shouldn't happen anymore. So that is the first thing, the first feature, the first upgrade that we have with B18. But I've got a whole list of good stuff that they've brought out that I want to show you guys. So I thought, where better to do that than, a slightly crippled JaWoodle Park. Speaking of crippled, I am well aware that my voice is husky as fuck right now. I was up all morning yelling and screaming about the Liverpool v Barca game, and as you can probably tell, I'm a very happy boy right now. What a fucking comeback by the lads. So I was like, you know what? Whatever. I can lose my voice waking up the neighborhood yelling and screaming about this. I'll wear my Jordan Hendo top in all the videos I record today because I am one fucking happy boy. Just gotta clear some space amongst all these hovering trees to try and give myself some room to actually move, because the first thing that I want to test out is something that they've changed, which a lot of people were upset about when we came into Alpha 17 that you couldn't do from Alpha 16 anymore, and that is the Pillar 50s. Pillar 50s were a staple of Alpha 16 7 Days to Die-ness. That was a shit placement. I already broke something. But yeah, in Alpha 16, you could place these things because zombies couldn't get through, but you could get through. So you could, like, stand in there, fire bows, use sledgehammers, whatever, with no real, like, threat of damage to you from zombies. And then Alpha 17 came out, they changed it so that zombies could now squeeze through it. And the wording of the patch notes say that zombies, what they've fixed is that zombies can walk between pillars size 50 and defeat players' traps. Now, I read that as saying that they have fixed zombies' abilities to get through these pillars. And I was like, well, I'm not too sure, but hey, the only way to be absolutely sure is to jump in and just start building shit and see if it is what I think it is. So if I could put this pillar down where I actually want it to go, I'm ready to clean up the rest of these little shrubs lying around all through here. No, that's the pillar, not the shrub. But yeah, the only way to know for sure is to test it. So let's just test it. That should do the trick just to see if they can actually get through. So all the way out here. Now, normally, if you've ever watched anything in JaWoodle Park before, or any of my content really, normally here I would use Arlene. That's normally my go-to, but she's betrayed me so many times I no longer want to have anything to do with Arlene, so I'm gonna go for the cheerleader zombie instead. She is my new best friend, she's my new girl. Put a bunch of them out there, stand right here on this block right in the middle, go bang and see if they will get through. They used to be able to, can they now? Oh, they're close. They're getting real close. Their nipples are through, and that's not because they have big old saggy decaying titties. Yep, nope, they're stuck. They can't make it. Pillar 50s work again. Oh, that's a good time. We'll test some other zombies just to make sure. But like that looks like a resounding success. Oh, some loot. You know what? This is, look, they just keep coming. They get almost all the way through. I'm sure if I come to stand real close, they'll be able to hit me, maybe? Yes, they can. Okay, that's kind of fair enough. Don't want to get too close. But say they're out there and I'm in here and I just happen to have an old mate Sledgehammer right here. I could just stand here and just go, boom, and fucking make them do backflips. So Pillar 50s working as they used to again is fantastic news for people who want to build bases and have like a melee option base. There was like building a cage like this back in the day used to be a really simple way to survive a Horde night and have a good, like, firing position against the Horde. So that is a great update for everyone who used to love Alpha 16, 7 Days to Die. But while I've got these two lovely ladies here beating down my door, it is time for me to test out something else they've brought back in Alpha 17, and that is the ability, well, Alpha 17, B18, rather, with this new update, and that is the ability for the player to inflict dismemberment. There was a problem with the last build where only traps could dismember zombies, and that was kind of frustrating, and a lot of people love dismembering zombies because it's an insta-kill if you take the head off. So maybe we'll have to find out, can I dismember you? Can I take your noggin off? Can I relieve the... Oh, yes, I can! Can I relieve the pressures of life from your shoulders? I can take the weight off them! Get that shit out of here! That was too much fun to only do once. I want to do it with the sledgehammer. Oh, wow! Wow, I knocked them all down. One fell swoop with a sledgy, and they all fell down. Is that something new? Like, area of... I haven't been able to do that with a sledgehammer ever before. If that's something new I can do, I fucking adore it. I want to go absolutely flying. I love it. Why haven't I ever been using the sledgy before? I know I'm not a big fan of melee, but if I can be... Ow! If I can be doing this shit, then why would I ever not use it? This thing wrecks fucking shop. I mean, admittedly, in fairness, my guy is completely maxed out. So if I was ever going to like tear up a place with a sledgehammer, this are the stats I'm going to need to do it. If you could stand still, I'd love to just get all amongst the cleavage and take off your head like everyone else's. Oh, right through the nips. So I just reread the patch notes, and it's actually worded that they have fixed player cannot provoke a dismemberment of zombies' arms/legs, but traps can. So, I've only dismembered someone's head. Maybe I need to start, maybe I need to, knock someone down and then dismember their arms or legs or something like that. So, walk up to old mate cheerleader over here. You need a name. I mean, I can't just call you cheerleader. You need something like an actual kind of nickname for me to call you, don't you? I'll knock you over. Oh, we'll just freaking murder you on the spot. Okay, that was a bit... what about a biker? Something with a bit more health. Biker feral. We're going to put you over here. Right, I need to knock you down and see if I can take off one of your limbs. I'm just too good at killing. I need one of these guys to survive for 3 seconds and they're all just losing their minds. Literally. Finally got one to stay alive on me, so quickly hack off his leg. Go, go, go. Can I take his legs off with a machete? Surely, this is what the machete's for, isn't it? Yeah! Yeah, so you're a crawler now. You can turn zombies into crawlers again. I've missed that. That was a great feature back in A16 and back when you could do this. But so if you had someone running after you, like a feral or whatever, you could just shoot them in the legs with a shotgun or a bow or whatever, and they turned into crawlers. And it was a lifesaver, a lifesaver, and a game changer. So I wonder if wait, let's have a look. What about the crippler mod? Does that give a better chance to cripple a leg of a bipedal target? Well, that sounds like a pretty good excuse for me to whip out the old oh shit shotgun and see if we can cripple some Jeffreys. Let's make them as hoarse as my voice. Alright, let me lay down the situation. You're a good, responsible survivor. You've gone out, you've raided some POIs, you've got your mean green oh shit shotgun machine, and you are ready to take on whatever comes your way. But then, your worst nightmare happens and you come up against one of these big bastards. A feral wight bursts out of a closet and comes after you, and you got no way to defend yourself. I mean, in previous A17s, you wouldn't. You just gotta hope you knock him down for long enough to get some space and pepper him with rounds until he's finally done. But now, if I can cripple him with the oh shit shotgun, then maybe we'll have a better chance of surviving. So if we just aim for the legs... like that. No, too far away. Aim for the legs again. I'm going for nothing but ankle shots. Oh, buddy. Oh, you pathetic little worm. You used to be a wonderful threat, and then you took a shotgun to the knee, and now look at you, groveling, begging, pleading for some brains. Well, mate, I ain't got nothing for you. In fact, you know what I do have? I got your other leg coming off. Oh, God. You know what? Never mind. I'll just take your life instead. Drop anything good for me? You did drop some good shit for him. There you go. If you have your oh shit shotgun, it is even more powerful than before. Faith in oh shit shotgun has not only been restored, but increased. Right, the next thing on the list is actually 3 here that are relatively quick to kind of showcase and test. So I'll do them all back to back. And the first one is rocket launcher explosions are no longer doing the damage listed in the XML, which I mean, it's kind of convoluted, but I think that means, remember back in No Craft when I had the rocket launcher and I fired it into the middle of a crowd and it only killed like one zombie? I think that's what it's talking about. I think they've upgraded the rocket launchers to actually work as you'd expect now. You fire a exploding rocket in the middle of a crowd, the crowd goes boom. That's what I hope to happen. So I've found a lovely bunch of volunteer women from the local cheerleading convention, and they are going to see if they can do their best tumbles in the air with a little help of a spring-loaded explosion. So I'll put one right in the middle of them, right about there. Oh, yes. Oh, and it did a whole bunch of damage to the ground as well. That murdered like 20 cheerleaders. And that was just regular high explosive. I was kind of expecting not to go as well as that. So I also got some frag ammo just in case. That worked a treat. Look at the freaking crater it made. Holy crap. We'll put one in here as well. Oh my god. The rocket launcher just got a whole lot freaking better. One in the back just for good measure. So, that's good. That's good. I really like the rocket launcher. I've never been a big fan of the rocket launcher, but now that it does shit like this, I can definitely get on board with it. Oh, that's so much better. Right, okay, so rocket launcher works an absolute treat now, which is very, very good. I'll make sure I go find my closest rocket launcher next time I'm playing and keep it handy in case there's ever a horde. Imagine how to take out a whole horde in one shot. Oh, that's the dream. It's what rocket launchers are for. But the other thing, speaking of explosives that they have updated, is the dynamite, the dynamite. So basically, before, you could light the dynamite in your hand and it wouldn't explode. So now, I want to test that. Can I test? No? Is that, so you just throw it? Do I have to light it first? Ah, there we go. Light it first. Will it explode in my hand? Yes, it will. Right, I like that. I like that the sound effect as well, that kind of builds up to it. It sounds like you're filling a glass full of water. Go, what? It has that like build-up effect. I like it. So now, if you get in a real spot of bother, you want to take the horde out with you, light a stick of dynamite, hold it in your hand, and kiss your ass goodbye. One other quick little thing is apparently they've updated climbing ladders. And so before, if you held shift when you're climbing a ladder, you actually went slower and it reduced your stamina, which was kind of a lose-lose situation. So they've updated it now, so that now you will go faster on a ladder if you hold shift. So this is not holding shift. Holding shift. Fuck, you fly up the ladder now too. That's so much better. So many times I've come so close to dying because I've been like trying to climb a ladder away from like a feral white or whatever, trying to get up a ladder to get out of like a waterworks or something and not being able to get up there fast enough. Jeez, you've really fly up these ladders now. That's fantastic. Alright, that's another change that I like. Good on the fun pimps for getting that all sorted out. The other one that is nice and quick, if I quickly grab this pistol and modify it and put the silencer on. You may remember me talking about the other day, in one of the episodes recently, that I couldn't shoot as well with the silenced pistol because it blocks the iron sights. Well, the fun pimps must have been watching that episode because they have updated the pistol as well to have a slightly smaller silencer on the end of it. So, you can now actually use the iron sights. You can actually aim with this thing and not have a big canister in front of it blocking your view. So all they've done, I'm pretty sure, is just like made the silencer smaller. Yeah. I mean, that looks about right, doesn't it? I mean, that's about the size of a regular pistol silencer, I think. I don't know. Depends on the model, but that looks fine. Shoots fine. In fact, there was another thing as well. They've updated how much of an effect the silencer actually has on these things. Let's find somewhere quiet and dark. Let's go into the shadow over here. There we go. I've got 4% visibility. So before, firing with the silencer used to bring it up to like 70, 80, 90. Like, it made it pretty high. This one brings it less than 50. That's much, much better. Or it goes up to 60 and 70 sometimes. If you try to fire a couple in the chain, then it gets louder and louder and louder. I mean, I'm okay with that. It makes sense in the way that the game works. I've been to spoken to a couple of people. I almost like tripped over my words like Porky Pig there. I've spoken to a couple of people in the comments about silencers and how they're suppressors and don't actually make it completely silent. They're quieter now, so hopefully people like that. I almost forgot. I was about to get rid of my trusty Sledgehammer and I realized there's one other update they've done to the Sledgehammer, and that is they've changed it to only give you like 25% of your harvest resources. So if you start taking down any sort of like boulders or anything with the Sledgehammer, you're not going to get as much out of it as you would with a pickaxe, which well, that's what I assume. That's how I read it. The way they write the patch notes often leaves me a little bit confused about what they actually mean. So as I said before, the only way to make sure of it is to go and test it myself. So on a boulder, what do I get per hit here? I get 6 stone and 2 like specials, I guess. Yeah, so 2 iron, 2 lead, and 2 coal, and about 6 stone per go. So I get through it quicker, but I don't get as many resources. That kind of makes sense. Alright, let's do that. Let's test it out with the pickaxe then. Will it give me more than 6 and 2? I think it gave me 20, but I should probably wait till that goes away, because my quick maths is not that good, and I need to like see just an easy tally for me. Yeah, there we go. So you get 20 with the pickaxe and only 6 with the sledgehammer. So while you can get through things much quicker with the sledgehammer, if you want the resources, you got to use a proper tool. I like that. These are good changes. I mean, I'm critical of the Thumbprints for a lot of things, things that I think are pretty obvious oversights. I mean, I'm not going to shy away from sharing my opinion with you guys. That's half the reason you guys are here. But like, I will give credit where credit is due. I will give criticism where I think it's due. I will give credit where it is due. These updates, these new updates for the B18, brand new update for Alpha 17, they're really, really good. Like, as the way that the game actually works, like the way that the game comes together, the tools you use, how you plan ahead, the bases you can make, and the materials you use to get those bases, I like that these minor changes have made a very positive influence on that. As well as all of those changes, there's also been some like quality of life changes. For example, the double swing on melee weapons and tools. That isn't a thing anymore. That was really quite frustrating when you're breaking down a crate and then you accidentally break what's inside the crate because your guy takes an extra swing when you didn't want him to. So they've removed that, which is absolutely fantastic. They've also changed the way the lighting works in this. So you can see when I kind of scroll through here and change the time of day that the lighting changes are far smoother than what they used to be. They've also changed the nighttime lighting. So before, when you got to midnight, there was a big jump in like moonlight. It'd go from being very dark to having like some pretty decent moonlight, and you were always kind of waiting to get to that midnight phase where the moon came up so you could see everything a little bit better. So now, I mean, it's still pretty dark before the moon comes up, but it's not as big of a difference as it used to be. It used to go from being like pitch black to very visible and in like an instant, a very big jump. So they've changed that as well. They've also made like the moon and the sun go from east to west, which makes kind of sense. They've made the stars move the same way, but it's slower. Like the things that like the immersion level stuff. I mean, the stuff that makes you feel like actually part of the game. They've upgraded it, updated it, made it better. Good on them. Another thing in the patch notes that seems to be very particularly specific, that's almost a sentence to me, is they've updated the way that hatches work. So they've listed the problem where hatches don't always open on the first attempt, which in my mind is directly linked to the problem that I have with a lot of like my hatch drawbridges, in that if you leave the chunk, if the game has to load the chunk that the hatches were in, it'll like display the hatches as being closed, even though you left them as open. So you might think my base is secure because the hatches are open, but the game's reloaded it and now they're closed and zombies can come in. So that's the way that I've read it. So as always, let's just test it out. Let's open up all these hatches here on the which base was this one actually? Oh, it's the first loot base. Ah, that was a good loot base. I miss building bases. I mean, JaWoodle Park still works for a lot of things. Like I can still come in here and do stuff like this, little showcases and stuff. For actual base building, I'm not sure how well it's going to go anymore, given that like it's the game struggling to kind of keep it all together. But I don't know. We'll see how we go. If I had to build more bases, I will still build it here. I refuse to give up on it just yet. But yeah, so all of these hatches are open. So let's now just leave. We'll go off into the distance and let the game reload that chunk. In fact, let's just go a long way away. Let's go all the way up to the other end of the racetrack. Yep, there we go, load in, and then we'll go all the way back, and we'll see if the hatches are open or closed. Oh, that's a good sign, they're all still open! Oh, thank God, they fixed it. I mean, a lot of the recent bases I've been making secondary entry points, especially from killing corridors, across hatch drawbridges. I just realized that all of these things that I built and have now coined, if you haven't watched any videos before, you'll have no idea what I'm talking about. But yeah, if I'm using a killing corridor across a hatch drawbridge, then I usually get rid of the hatches because I don't trust them. Because if I leave, they'll close, and me being me, I'll forget to open them again. And that usually ends up being a bad time for everyone. So I've been getting rid of them in that for that exact reason, but now that that's not an issue anymore, I can probably put them back. That's good. All these little, like, these annoyances, all these little things that have pissed me off over the days of playing 7 days, they've fixed them, and it makes me so happy. I love that, like, even though there is like feature crawls in this, and yeah, sure, it's still in alpha after like 6 years, but they're still improving the game, and that makes me happy. So with all the fun things done and all the new things showcased, it is time to move on to a more somber affair, and that is going to take place in the newest addition to a slightly broken JaWoodle Park, and that is the JaWoodle Hill Cemetery, overlooking what you can see of JaWoodle Park. The cemetery is where we pay our respects to the things that have come into our lives, the things that have been loved, and the things that have now been lost. And today, we are gathered here in the cemetery on top of the hill to say farewell to the Christmas items. They have been removed in the brand new update in build 18. They have been removed from the loot list. So while you can still spawn them in, you can no longer find them in the wild. And that is a very, very sad day. So to you, Candy Cane Club, Candy Cane Knife, and Santa Hat, I thank you for your service, but most importantly, I couldn't say farewell to the Candy Cane Club without saying goodbye in its true form. The Blueberry Candy Cane. It served me well. It was a dear friend through all of those days of punching zombies in the face with the big dick of diabetes, and it will be sorely missed. So there is a coffin down here ready to go for him. I'll put them in as best I can. There you go. Bury them down just like that. And on the little plaque here, we will remember what is underneath, and that is the Xmas items when they died in A17.3 B18. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your love. I hope you rest easy. So on that very sad note, it is actually time for me to end the episode. I know I didn't showcase everything that was in the new update. I couldn't, there's too much stuff. There is a whole list of things that they've updated with the new build 18. So please go and read that. You'll see all the things on there are very good updates. They're things that make actually living in and surviving in 7 Days to Die just that little bit better. Just like little tweaks that make it just a little bit better for you. So go read them, see what's new. You'll probably find something in there that's been annoying you in the past that they've now fixed up. It's getting better and better and better, but I'll have to come back and play some more 7 Days to Die in another episode, because this episode is done. So thank you guys for watching. Most of all, thank you to all the patrons on Patreon who made this episode possible. If you like, make sure to like button down below and subscribe to this channel. Follow me on Twitter if I don't talk to you there first. I'll see you in the next episode. Have a good one.